word. I like this word. No, it's my job is to prepare the team. Of course, I'm aware that it's a very big gap between Championship and Premier League. We know that, but also still this is football. We will try to make a difficult game for Man United. Of course, they are favorite, and I can't wait because I want to also to compete with other managers. Of course, sometimes we are. Not sometimes, mostly we will be underdog, but still we are used to fight there and try to use our opportunities there on the pitch.
Yeah, I feel good. As you'd expect, really looking forward to another season. You know, they come thick and fast, so it's about making the most of everything that's in front of us, really, and really encouraged with what we've the work we've done pre-season on the training ground, mostly in the games. I think it's been really good. So yeah, very much looking forward to the first game, and a tough one on Saturday.
In terms of player availability, is Sesko, De Ligt available? What's the situation with Mason Mount and Carl Darlow as well?
Yeah, Carl's trained this week. He's back training, so he's in good shape. Mata's obviously been out for a long period of time, but he's training, and great to have him back. Well, he won't be involved, but he's in good shape and moving in a good direction. So that's really a good bonus for us, really. At this stage, to have him back. Ben's back training, so that's again another positive. Looking forward to having him back around the group and getting him some minutes as well. So, and then managing Mason a little bit, but he's very close. So it's touch and go for the weekend, really, if not going into next week.
Michael, with Mason, is there a kind of concern about injuries? Is that kind of underpinning everything? Because clearly the first 3 games of pre-season he was outstanding, but then everybody says, well, he'll get injured at some point, and then he goes off. Is that a concern?
I think first of all, Mason's a top player. I think we've seen that so far pre-season. He's one of our best players in the early stages in the games that he played in. I thought he was fantastic. So not surprising. It's what I've seen before, what I expect, what I know of him. So and he's picked up a little bit of a knock. It's no drama. Maybe it's been a week or so, or 10 days, or whatever it's been. So it's nothing major. Yeah, of course he's missed some football over recent years, and he wants to be fit. He wants to be in that full rhythm, and he wants to stay fit. So we're doing our best to help him do that. But he's a top player, mate. It's the same as the squad. We've got to manage the squad. There's going to be injuries through the season. We've got to have a squad that's strong enough to have a really good top starting team with the depth to carry us through the season. So Mason will be back very, very soon, if not immediately. So it's all good.
Some people have looked at your fixture list and said 2 newly promoted teams, that's a favourable start for Manchester United. You've been around the club long enough to know that United have slipped up in games like this right at the start of the season before. How do you see it? You almost see it as more dangerous because people will think you should win.
Well, I think first of all, for all of us know this league, there's no favourable start. You know, I think it's a tough start. Both teams, but not getting past Saturday. I think a newly promoted team away from home is a tough game. You know, I've been involved in them in the past, so I'm fully aware of what's at stake, what's coming at us on Saturday, what we've got to be ready for. So it's not favourable. I think it's an easy thing to throw out there, but it's pretty ridiculous, and certainly we're not taking it that way at all.
Evening, Michael. Just a question on Marcus Rashford. I know we did ask you a few questions about him in Dublin, but since he's been back, I just wonder, has he expressed any desire to stay at United beyond the deadline? And just a second, if you don't mind, do you see him as an option through the middle as well as playing on the left?
It's been pretty obvious since Marcus came back training with Cobby and Leach pretty much in Dublin that he's come back fantastically well. You know, he's enjoying his football. He looks fit. He looks sharp. He looks strong. He looks ready to play football. So I've been delighted with him since he's came back. Yeah, of course he can play through the middle. He has done. wouldn't say it's necessarily his number one position, but he can do that, and I think we've got forwards that give us that flexibility right across the front line that we've used all of them pretty much in slightly different roles. So I think for us to have that option is really good moving through the season, obviously.
Just on the transfer window, the club being heavily linked with Baleba, but I just wonder how busy do you expect the club to be between now and the deadline, and do you still see left back with Luke Shaw as essentially the only first team left back in the squad, an area you'd like to strengthen?
I just think we're looking to strengthen the squad. We're certainly working towards that and making the most of the situation that we have and trying to improve things and trying to move forward. You know, I said the same thing to you last time. So yeah, certainly trying to make the most of the opportunities to finish the window stronger than we went into it, and I think we're in a good way to doing that so far.
Hi Michael, it's 13 years since United last won the title. What's it going to take to get over the line? Could you do it this year?
It's going to be a jump. I mean, I said to you, whatever I say, it doesn't really matter, you know, whether I say we can or we can't. Oh, I would never say we can't, by the way. I don't believe that. But whatever I say is, it's about what we do, you know, and what we can do, what we're capable of doing, what we believe we can do as a group. I think the run of form that we had last season gives us a lot of confidence. But then we know there's a whole new step to make as a group. We're pushing to do that. You know, it's exciting. I think we've got the potential to achieve things, and we're definitely giving everything that we can. And we got to believe that we're a good team and we can do good things.
Just on the game, Hull are obviously sort of devoid of pressure. Really, United never are. But are they in a way an unknown quantity because of the number of new players?
Well, that's the beauty of the new season. You know, I think. Certainly for teams coming up in the league, and for the most part there tends to be quite a few changes within the group, in the playing group, so it's always the challenge when you're playing against them. There's that freshness, there's that buzz around the football club of coming into the Premier League and what that brings. So again, we're fully aware of that. We'll be prepared, obviously. Mentally and physically we've done a lot of work anyway, but mentally we'll be prepared. We know what the game's going to bring and how good we need to be to get the right result.
Well, they've made some business in the summer. How do you see the first full season at your former club under Michael Carrick?
Well, there's harmony at the football club, which is good. He's got the players back on side. Fans are now believing Old Trafford, having been there lots last season. It's a different feeling in the stands. People are coming with optimism, and they understand what Michael's trying to do and how he's trying to play. I like Tielemans. I think Tielemans will come in and make a massive difference in there, calm things down. He has got legs as well. He has been captain of Aston Villa as well, so a lot of know-how. I just think Michael Carrick's just very much like Frank and Arteta, quite calm, you know, just taking his time. Nothing's too high, nothing's too low. He's in the right place at the right time, I think, at Man United.
I've been fascinated by the way Manchester United have done the business over the last couple of seasons. You normally expect them to, or any team, to, you know, a bit of that and a bit of this and a bit of that. They've just gone, right, attack is not good enough. Shesko, Cunha, and Burma, you know, just everything was... And it was like, whoa, you still need a few other players here, and they didn't do any... And then this season, bang, bang, bang. Three midfielders spent, again, fortunes on three midfielders. So it's almost like they're just doing surgery on different parts of their... You know, each season we'll concentrate on a different area of the park. I think they've done good business, but it's Champions League football now. They're going to have lots more games. They need a bigger squad. You know, they've lost a great player in Casemiro, but they have replaced him with, as I say, three midfielders. So it is an improvement, but, yeah, the extra games is going to be a challenge to Michael Carrick. He just had the one focus only last season. So, yeah, slightly different change, but they're on the right track.
To start this new chapter, this new journey, the target is to carry on in the same way of the last 10-15 years. So very also happy to finally to play our first game at home. So yeah, excited. It's clear that there are change, manager, players, but we are a club that we cannot wait for time to compete. So we need to compete since day one.
We had a a really good preseason. I settled in very well. Everyone supported me and the new coaching staff. Everyone put a lot of effort in the preparation and all the things around. So we feel well prepared for the upcoming season, for the upcoming game in Manchester. The most important thing stays the daily business, the Premier League, the Cups, and of course we are looking forward to play in Europe, to show our club, to represent our club in Europe.
Well, Marco Rose has a tough task following Andoni Iraola's top 6 finish in Europe he was talking about there. But what about Enzo Maresca following Pep Guardiola? And we're talking about Newcastle there. Some of the departures, some of the heartbeats of their dressing room. Obviously Bernardo Silva, obviously Stones, and now Rodri.
Yeah.
What of City under Maresca for this season?
Well, Maresca knows the division, so that's one plus for him. But I think going into this situation, which is, you know, it's a bit of a manager's nightmare, really, following Pep and what he's achieved with the players he's achieved it with. But going into the dressing room without the players you mentioned, especially Rodri just going now to Barca, it's a bit of a nightmare, really, because you tend to lean on those players and chat to those players that have been there and done it, and you say, well, how's the best way to approach this? And you use the seniors and the ones that have really helped you, and they're not there. So it's all down to him, his coaching, his understanding of the individuals in the dressing room and how to use his players.
Yeah, I mean, Ake's not even on that graphic. I mean, I was totaling earlier today. The total number of Premier League trophies that have left that dressing room alone together is 23 this season. There are a much younger, more inexperienced dressing room than we've seen probably nigh on a decade.
They're in a big transition as well, and it's the patient side of it. Can I be patient? You don't want to be that guy after Pep. It's like when Arsene Wenger, you don't want to be that guy. Emery came in, he's a great coach, of course he is, but you don't want to be that guy. Ferguson, you know, David Moyes, brilliant manager. These are great managers. They've gone on to do really well, but it's hard to replace them. And when you lose that much trophies, and then the players see departures all over the place, it's only going to enhance the likes of Haaland, who's there for a long period of time. Now he's like, they're leaving. So it's a big ask for him. It's going to be a big change for Man City and not what they're used to.
Yeah, I think it could be a struggle for them this season. I was asked to do my predictions at the start of the season, and I'm not even sure they'll finish top 4.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it's a big struggle. Obviously, Pep Guardiola leaving is monumental, but Rodri, oh my word. I mean, the only thing that could get worse now is if Haaland left. I mean, they've literally lost the two of the most influential 3 people at the club. And that is massive. That takes years and years and years to build back. They've got some good players, of course, they've got some good players still, but you mentioned they've lost some leaders. Even if John Stones wasn't playing all the time, he's a leader in the dressing room. Yeah. He's huge for them. So, I fear for Manchester City. I mean, if they weren't good enough to catch Arsenal last season, Arsenal are definitely better. There's no question Manchester City, they can't be any better with losing Pep and losing Rodri. So I can't see them winning the league, and I think it could be a rebuild again. There's lots of teams with big question marks. Manchester City are one of them.
Now it's the start of a new era at Manchester City as Enzo Maresca prepares for his first Premier League game in charge of the club. Maresca has been speaking about the difficulty of keeping players who want to go. Savinho and Omar Marmoush are closing in on moves to Tottenham Hotspur. Rodri has already left for Barcelona.
When players they want to leave, and then it's difficult for any reason they want to leave. Then it's complicated to convince them to stay or to change their thoughts. So it happened with Rodri. The same thing is happening with Savinho. Since day one, he asked me that he wants to leave. So now we are waiting, but it's complicated. You know, when the player they are thinking that they need a new challenge or they want to change because they want probably back to Spain or they want to play more minutes for different reasons. So it's become complicated then to convince them to stay.
Do you expect Omar Marmoush to leave? Is that deal with Spurs going to happen, do you think, at this stage?
I don't know. Omar is still here. It's still with us. it's different situation than Savio, and we see what's happened. Enzo is a Chelsea player, and I'm not going to talk about players that they are not with us. First of all, because I think it's lack of respect, and second, because I don't like when different manager they talk about our players.
Yeah, those are the thoughts of Enzo Maresca. Warren, aside of Pep Guardiola, the headline departure was Rodri, of course, but they've lost a lot of other experienced players as well, haven't they? Bernardo Silva, John Stones, Nathan Ake, to name three. Do you think Manchester City fans are going to have to be a little bit patient with Enzo Maresca and the team this coming season?
I think they're going to be a little bit worried as well when you hear that interview there and he's saying players want to leave. Well, partly his job is to try and get them to stay. But Rodri going and he wants to leave. Whatever the value is, keep him there because he's the main focal point. When you lose key players, Stones at the back, and players that are leaving the club because they want more football, his way of saying, I'm going to play you more, you're going to be part of this team, he should be selling that. So that's a big concern as well. Not only losing key players, but you're losing a lot of experienced players that understand the pressure of playing for Manchester City, understand the pressure of big games, big management. Yes, he's had that opportunity at Chelsea, but these are big shoes to fill with Pep Guardiola because you can see with the documentaries and how intense he was, how driven he was, how it affected his private life with Pep. So he's a coach that now he's come into an environment where players are saying, I want to leave. Players wanted to get to Manchester City, not walk out the door.
Just picking up on that, replacing Sir Alex Ferguson at Manchester United back in 2013 was viewed as nigh on impossible when you look back on it now. Replacing Arsene Wenger at Arsenal looked really, really difficult. Is replacing Pep Guardiola like the hardest of all of them?
Yeah, because he's transformed the league, how we play. He's transformed the culture of Manchester City, what they were seen as a club. So to try and follow his footsteps, and also his personality, his admiration for the game, his passion for the game, his intensity to detail. Whenever anyone works with Pep Guardiola, he makes you better, whether it's in the backroom staff or out on the field. So they're big shoes to fill because Pep Guardiola took all the responsibility. Enzo, looking at that interview there, doesn't feel comfortable doing that. So what happens if after the Community Shield they lost 3-0, they lose another game? Bournemouth is not a walk in the park. That's not going to be an easy game. So if that doesn't go well, I know you've got Haaland. Haaland will get, like he did with Norway, get them to a certain level and score goals. But you've got to look around at the support. The fear factor's gone with them now. If I was playing now, I wouldn't fear going to play Man City because you look at the bench, he's not there, and then you look at the players, you think, I've got a chance of playing, rather than go and think, if I can keep this to 2-0, I'm quite happy getting out of here. That was the mentality of some teams going there. Now it's like, we can go at these, we can get at these, we can hurt them. Yeah, they've got good players around, but they haven't got that togetherness, and they could be vulnerable.
Well, you touched on it there, and Maresca actually faced questions about the task facing him at City, and he accepts that time isn't something he can expect.
It's clear that there are change, manager, players, but we are a club that we cannot wait for time to compete. So we need to compete since day one. Again, Arsenal game, we wanted to win, we didn't win. After analysing the game for different reasons, now the focus has to be just about Bournemouth, Premier League, and all the games that we have had.
So Maresca admits, look, he can't expect to get time because he's at such a big club. Having said all of that, and what you're saying as well, City fans probably could be a bit worried going into this season. Do you still see them as Arsenal's main challengers, or is Arsenal's biggest challenge going to come from elsewhere?
I think they will be one of them. Listen, when you've got Haaland in your team, you've got a chance to, score goals, relieve the pressure. I think his leadership role will be important. But that may only be a matter of time, because if he sees what's walking out the door, he won't want to be playing other than Champions League football. So that might be, and his good friend is Jude Bellingham. So don't write that off if that doesn't happen in 18 months. But that could be further down the line. But I just feel that he knows he's under pressure. He's dealt with it. He knows the football club. He's been around Pep. He understands what mentality is. But there's one thing being Pep. Then you've got to go in and be your own person. You've got to try and go out there and coach. You've got to implement your ideas to the players and get your point across. But more importantly, with that group of players, they've got to respect him. They've got to respect what he's saying. They've got to buy into what he's saying, because what they've heard before, they've heard from a legend. who's totally changed how the people looked at football. So he's got to go in there and be his own person, like he did at Chelsea, try and get the players on side. But it is a big shoes to fill when you've got someone like Pep who took that club from being a challenging team to being a team that dominated the Premier League for 5, 6, 7 years.
Does that squad look short to you?
Yeah. I wouldn't fear at Haaland. I get it, and they've got some good players, I understand that, but I would fancy going there. If I was playing a team, one of the big teams, it doesn't have that fear factor. Like I said, teams used to go there thinking, we get beat 2-0, I'm happy with that. As long as they don't get 4-5, which they've done, they're quite able to do that. So they've lost that as well, because you haven't got them on the sideline, and they haven't got the players, like De Bruyne is not there, obviously, Rodri's not there, Silva's not there. People that can do a difference maker and take responsibility of a game that's maybe not going their way.